What is going on? Welcome to the NBA Live Before Lock 631 edition. And preparing for obviously the big show, the 11 p.m. live sweat where we watch Bobby take down the 250K. Looking forward to that. I'm just kind of hoping to be, kind of just competing for a min cash at the end. And hoping, Bobby holds off the 17 entries of some of these other folks. But we shall see. So again, 11 p.m. On this channel, we will be taking a look at all the different lobbies and seeing what's what. Then we're also going to do a live PGA lineup build as well. So you got all that. There's Bobby.
What's up, guys? What's up, man? I just wanted to get it started a little early, so I did, but then I had to grab some things, so I'm back now. And we have a little bit of a different slate. I'm going to be out of here at 7 Eastern, but I'd love to talk through everything.
What's different?
Caruso was out.
Okay.
I don't know how much I love that. I still think Kobe White's worth a flyer. On FanDuel, I have a little bit of Kobe White and Sonmu, but I don't love it.
Which don't you love?
I don't necessarily love the value that's going to pop off for Chicago because you still have Pat Beverly there.
Okay.
So it's just a little bit tricky.
Those did that all just happen? Because I'm not getting. There's the Sonmu a little bit. I guess whoever they announce is starting will. Yeah, but who cares? I mean, I don't really need to play that. Whoever the Caruso replacement is, I play Kobe White before anything.
Yeah, that's probably what you do. But even still, I don't feel like it's like some sort of an automatic smash play. I don't think any of the San Antonio has come back to reality with the projections. So they're not it just was a ridiculous projection on all those guys early in the day. We'll see who actually plays, but I think I'm sort of on your page where most of my big buy-in lineups are going to be the 8 Eastern games.
What about the that Sandro dude though? He's still showing like 8x pretty much.
Yeah, he's the one who you can kind of, but it's not like a whatever. It's a whatever play.
But Hardy is probably the best play,
right? Hardy is the best play on the slate. I love Josh Green still too. I don't know why everybody's, especially without knowing what's going to happen with what's his name, without knowing what's going to happen with Hardaway. But Josh Green is I don't understand exactly why the projections don't like him better. He's put up 41 and 39 in the two spots in the situation before. When he was in this spot, he was basically 35 plus every time.
Do we have information on Cleveland? Yeah, Mitchell's playing, right? Okay, I see that. Mitchell is not on the injury report, which is good news. Jarrett Allen is out, though. Okay.
Yeah. So really, there's not a whole bunch more new news than there was, but
fortunately, like I said, I don't have to jam in Cleveland's.
Yeah. I don't think there was any. Yeah, there was never any questions with anybody on Cleveland. I don't think that's playing. It's Mitchell. I don't think Mitchell was ever in doubt.
And Kyrie is officially out, I guess. Nothing's official, I guess. I know who we had to make sure about was the Minnesotas. I know you're kind of convinced that Gobert is definitely in, but couldn't hurt to make sure.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to just double check anything. Wait, who'd you say was definitely in?
No, I'm saying it couldn't hurt to make sure that Gobert is in.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's just that could happen, like, you know, at any time, but there's literally no reason to think that he wouldn't play, like,
Right.
Unless he just, I don't know, like, I mean, it's possible. I don't know what else to say.
Right.
Anyway, so basically what I'm doing is, like, I really like the Chicago Sacramento game. I like all parts from like both sides. DeRozan's projecting the best and will have the most ownership. I think LaVine will probably have the most ownership. LaVine is probably the best play of them. Just given the matchup, he's always torched Sacramento. That he loves to play at that kind of pace. And I also think that, like, if no one wants to play Vucevic here, I'll take my shots on Vucevic. Right now, he's in my main build on DraftKings. Like, I think that, like, you know, 8,200, he's put up, I mean, this is a great matchup, a premium matchup. He's put up 46, 50 in his last two. We've seen the usage go up a little bit for him. And I think they're gonna go run things through him. So I like getting some of that game with Sabonis or Fox on the other side. I don't really want to play the other fringy guys on Sacramento. There's just too many bodies. But Fox and Sabonis, I definitely can get behind.
Oh, so yeah. So wait. So I'm just catching up. So all these San Antonio news is okay. So Vassell out, Collins out, Sohan out, Branham remains questionable. Keldon Johnson is in. So I'm just curious. I mean, I'll probably have to run this again when San Antonio starters come out, right? I mean, or San Antonio starters kind of known. I mean, what about
no idea what San Antonio's going to do?
Dominic Barlow? I mean, is he in play?
Nobody's even worth talking about until we see who's playing.
That's what I was saying. I mean, so
yeah, I don't think we can do anything. Like, I really don't know who's playing. So, I mean, it's a later game. It's not one of the first games anyway. But yeah, I mean, like, these are all just guys. Like, there's no feel for it. Anybody who tells you they know who's going to play for San Antonio is probably selling something. And they're probably going to do what they've been doing, which is, like, middling out these guys' minutes. Now, they all got there the other night in a crazy way. Maybe they could do that again, but I don't know who to pick. We don't know about the main one we don't know about right now is Branham. I think that we were going to get most of the other guys, but they have 11 guys who are supposed to play tonight. And yeah, they're cheap, but, like, they're all going to split up a lot of these minutes. I just can't find any love for it. And to be honest, the projections don't even like them anymore, except for Mamu Kelishvili. I need you to help me with that one.
Sandro Mamu Kelishvili.
Yeah.
I have him at 48% ownership, by the way.
I think it's probably high, but, like, I mean, it's kind of weird. Like, we're counting on. I mean, I think, yeah, he's probably the right guy to play. But would they do something weird and start Gorgui Dieng? Maybe, you know. So could they use Barlow? Do you even need a big? You don't need to play a big against Dallas anyway. I mean, they have 11 guys who are all going to get minutes, and I just can't figure out where I'd go other than maybe the Keldon Johnson and Branham, assuming that Branham plays. If Branham is out, everything is wide open for them. Well, somewhat, because Trey Jones is supposed to be back. Like, I just don't know how to figure it out, you know? I just feel like it's talking about a lot of plays that I just don't want to play anyway. Blake Wesley would probably be the one I would play ahead of these guys. If the other ones were out, just because he at least is, like, somewhat active and he gets assists and things like that, and it's a good matchup. But I just feel like I'm sort of stuck on that one. I don't really have, like, a great feel for San Antonio, what they're going to do. I don't even know if San Antonio has a good feel for what they're going to do. So Keldon Johnson and I mean, honestly, Trey Jones is it seems reasonable, but like right now he's supposed to be coming off the bench. I don't know what they're going to do. I would like to see a starting lineup, and it's just really hard to do. So that's why I'm sort of like, not just that game. That Chicago, Sacramento, I like a lot. Obviously, I like the Lakers and Houston, but I think that passing on the first couple games, which unfortunately is going to be pretty popular, is a good way to go. I do have some Embiid lineups. I do have some of my. I will have a tiny bit of Jimmy Butler and Bam. Maybe even Hero is not even a bad play. But it'll be very, very little, and I'm not really stacking these early games. And then I just kind of got off the Memphis stuff just because of the matchup. So that's sort of where I'm at. The guys who I'm like the most overweight on right now, like I'll just go through my things. I've got a ton of D'Angelo Russell. I'm basically splitting up, making sure I'm playing at least one of Gabriel or Hachimura in every lineup. I'm much higher on Jared Vanderbilt on FanDuel than I am on DraftKings. I don't have hardly any of them on DraftKings. You can always get there, but if he does, it's going to be a much bigger score on FanDuel anyway, because he's not playing. They're going to run offense through him. I like Kawhi Leonard still a ton, and I like De'Aaron Fox a ton, who's getting like a no projection. And I just don't think that the projections are keeping up with what these guys are doing lately. They're more taking it like for the season. When you're down the stretch and you're playing for something, I mean, De'Aaron Fox has been, he's at 350 plus games in his last six. Actually, four in his last six, 4 in his last 7, excuse me, including a 77 fantasy point one, which I just don't see people playing him that much. And I also don't see people playing Sabonis on DraftKings as much. I think he'll get played on FanDuel more. But I just like the idea of attacking the two teams that I've been attacking all year, which is Sacramento and Chicago.
It's so funny. I'm missing out on the Chicago stuff. I haven't had a chance to really play them.
I don't think there's. You mean you're not talking about the value? You're talking about just overall.
Just in general, yeah. I've just been missing that for some reason.
Well, because the three guys are healthy, and usually that's the rule. But Sacramento's been giving up 150 points a game, basically. Right. So there's a little more room for it. Unfortunately, Caruso being out actually hurts all those guys. There's sort of like there's always a perception like you lose a guy who plays 28 minutes, that means it's good. No, that means Kobe White gets more minutes, who takes a lot more shots than Caruso. Caruso never wants to shoot.
No.
MJ asked about the MJ who asked if I like Hero. I do like Hero a little bit. Like I'm absolutely not trying to play him. It's just I think that he's a completely fine guy to end up on. It's a good matchup for him, and he's at a reasonable price, but it's not anything special. I think Bam is fine. I think he's getting over projected as always. Bam like is a funny guy because he's an awesome real life basketball player, but I feel like he's one of the most overplayed people in DFS by like far. He's been chalk the last 5 slates, 34, 25, 20, 36, 22, 39. Like, what are we doing?
What was that game where he had the 1 rebound?
Did he have he had the 1 rebound game, that game against Cleveland.
And the 1 rebound.
Yeah. And people are asking about Embiid. I think Embiid, because it's a national televised game, there is a real MVP chase. There's also a real winning getting the 2 seed chase, and it's not gone to have a chance for the 1, but it's mostly gone. So getting the 2 seed, I think, is really big for them because they probably will meet Boston in the second round, and I think they're gonna put their best foot forward for whatever that means. So I like the Embiid play. I'm not getting to a lot of it because I think this value is very, very suspect, and the value that I like is a little bit higher price. Even Wendy Gabriel, who I really like, I think that's a really suspect value play. Like to be like, I thought he was going to be like 60% owned. If he's not going to be like 50, 60% owned, then I think it's totally fine. But also I'd like to see who's starting for the Lakers. It's really hard because mostly what I'm waiting on is starting lineups, and the Lakers are the most important one because if Rui starts, I definitely like Rui better than I did if he wasn't, but I'd still have some interest in him off the bench. And Gabriel, if he doesn't start, I feel like has more of a wide range of outcomes, but I think the 3,700 is a cheap enough price. I don't feel like it's as easy to get to Embiid as maybe some other people feel. And I am using some value, but I like these other plays better. I like these middling spend ups better than I like I like my builds better. And we see it every night. The guy who's the most expensive is most of the time not the highest scoring player on the slate these days. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so why wouldn't we try to take our shots on getting one of those, getting this, Levine, what did he put up? 70 last time he played Sacramento?
Did it?
Why wouldn't we take a shot on that guy, Rui or Gabriel I just answered that question. So hopefully that was a question came in after, because I think that I'm splitting them up, but I think that it really depends on the starting lineup. Let's see what Brandon Cruz says here, because he says, does Paul and Kawhi work together? Or do they take away from each other? I wouldn't play them together on this slate. I prefer De'Aaron Fox anyway to Paul George, but I'm like splitting up Paul George and Leonard a lot too. I'm playing a lot of both of them. I don't see, unless you wanted to stack that game. I guess if you stack that game, you definitely could play them both. Or if you just played one guy from Golden State, meaning basically Steph or Clay. I think you could definitely get away with that, but I don't think that's where I would be trying to.
That's tough, man. That's
hard for them both to get there in that kind of way.
Yeah, they're expensive,
Yeah. Hardaway is out and Wood is in. Ugh. I don't know what to do with that one yet.
I don't
either. I still am tempted. I'm not going to lie. I am a little tempted about the Christian Wood thing.
Dude, I think it's a great play, isn't it?
I still think no one will play him. He's going to have no projection.
Without Hardaway, that's even more shots.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. If he ends up starting for any reason, he'll get played like crazy. But they start Dwight Powell. That's their guy.
Dwight Powell, and then they'll also start.
They'll start Hardy, Green, probably Holiday, and Bullock.
Holiday.
Or McKinley Wright probably gets a boost here. I like McKinley Wright a little bit. He's got some stuff to him. He's aggressive. He had a 25% usage rate the last game against Memphis. I know it was kind of a weird game, but still, this guy can do some things out there. And I'm kind of interested. I'm a little interested in him as a value. You see what I mean? The value just seems suspect enough, and to where I don't really want to be overweight these guys to where I want to triple spend up. So my spend ups right now my favorites are Russell, Leonard, one of the Bulls, and then I like running it back with I like running the Lakers, Russell and Gabriel, let's say, or Russell and Rui or something like that, with either Şengün, Porter, or Jalen Green. I think all three of those guys make for very, very good run backs. So that's what I'm doing. That's the way I'm treating the slate right now. Is that you're spending up on the Chicago-Sacramento game, and you're spending up on Leonard or George. I just don't think I'm spending all the way up in my biggest buy-ins. Now, I do have some Embiid, so don't get me wrong. You're going to see he's in one of my 222s. But I just don't think you need to do it today. It's not like this great matchup for Embiid, but it is kind of weird at a national televised game to have him at sub 10%. If that's real, I think that you probably would want it. Let's say you were playing 20 lineups, I would probably try to get at least 4 or 5 of them with Embiid. Nah, not at least. Probably 4 or 5 is exactly where I would end up. I'd like to be double the field or triple the field on Embiid if possible, if he's going to be that low. And if he's not, and I think there is a lot of flux going on. I think there's a lot of some of the projections I'm not exactly trusting yet, and I think that it'll change a lot when we see starting lineups. But we won't see them until later. So it's kind of tricky. I just don't know what to do with Embiid exactly.
So Bullock, then, he's just a guy I don't like to play all that much.
He's going to play 1 million minutes, even with a low usage rate. I'm fine with using him.
Yeah.
Struggling through one 2v2, I was Bullock, and I had Bullock and who did I have? Let me just grab this, because this is actually an important one for me. So it was Bullock and Fox, or Jalen Green and Desonmu or something like that, or White. So that's just to give away a little 2v2 that I've been trying to go through. Maxi Kleber is just a play. If you're trying to desperately spend up. I just don't think this is the right slate to do it. Even if Embiid puts up 70, I'm not like worried about that. Doesn't like hurt my feelings for the rest of my lineups. If he puts up 80 plus, it's a little harder. But 70 is not going to kill you anyway. You're going to have shots with these other guys. What I did on FanDuel was I played Embiid with the completely unowned Donovan Mitchell.
Donovan Mitchell's always in play.
I don't understand Jeff's question of what site is saying that. I'm just clear that one up for me. I'm happy to answer whatever.
What site is saying what?
He said that's what he said. What site is saying that? I don't know what that means. He literally just said that, so I don't know.
We don't even know what that refers to. Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Jacob Vrana. Game time decision versus Minnesota.
All right, guys, keep firing questions because we got about 8 minutes here. Oh, the Hardaway news? Yeah, Hardaway news is out now.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, just keep in mind, guys, there's like a 20-second delay. So if you're watching this, like it's hard to, if you say, what does that mean? That we just need the specifics. Must plays tonight. I don't like the Sheets knows this better than me about anything, but if there's a must play, it's Jaden Hardy, without a question. I don't think I have any big buy-ins. I don't know if I have any lineups without Jaden Hardy in it on both sides. I think it's weird that people aren't playing him more on FanDuel too. I'm into that's the closest thing to a must play on the slate is Hardy, and I would add that one of Hachimura, Vanderbilt, or Gabriel should be in your lineups. Make sure it's one of those three. Gabriel is this value one. I think Hachimura probably has a pretty decent upside here, and I think that the most overowned is Vanderbilt. Well, actually, you know what? His ownership on DraftKings has kind of gone down, so I'm actually a little bit more intrigued than I was earlier. But D'Angelo Russell is also a really tough fade for me, a really tough guy to fade. And then I just like I really like both Kawhi and Paul George tonight. It's interesting that Kawhi keeps projecting for like 40 fantasy points, and I'm wondering where that's coming from. Like since February, like I think he's averaging like 50, 51. Why is he projected to score 41? Like I just don't understand it. I do like Draymond a little bit. I think that would be my favorite pairing of to go with if you're not going to use Steph. But like I'm not like excited about it. I'm certainly not trying to get to Draymond. It's just like if you got stuck there. Like I'm not going to play Draymond over Josh Green or Jaden Hardy, who are cheaper than he is. So not really getting to him, even though I don't mind the play in a vacuum. Yeah, just kind of struggling a little bit with this slate, putting all the pieces together. But I kind of like what I came up with the first time, and I'm probably gonna that's like most likely what I'm gonna end up doing the most of.
Yeah, I'm not doing anything particularly fancy tonight. I don't want to say fancy. I got a little bit too structured last night. I don't know any game I really want to go after. So I'm basically just like making plays, you know?
Yeah, we're on totally opposite pages. I feel like this is the night to go after the things, just personally. But I really like the Houston LA game. I really like the what's it called? I've got my notes here, but I can't read them. Dallas and San Antonio, potentially, but Dallas and San Antonio, like I'd be playing like Keldon Johnson on the other side of like three Dallas guys, not like necessarily. And maybe I would throw Mamas Skulishvili, whatever, into there as well. I also think that the other one would be Chicago and Sacramento. So those three games are basically where basically all my guys are coming from tonight.
Well, if I were going, let me have some fun.
I just talked about my Vooch love. I'm into it. SS has Wood at 39 fantasy points. Just give them a minute to update because it takes a minute sometimes, and they sometimes over project and then rein it back in.
39 is a big number.
It's a huge number. And by the way, if you told me he was going to play 28 minutes, I feel like you kind of have to play him. Like, I don't think you have much of a choice.
Yeah.
But if he plays 15, that's totally on the table too. Yeah, that's pretty wild. But 39 seems kind of crazy to me.
I mean, so, just in case you were wondering, if you use 39 as a projection, you get him in 100% of your lineups.
What's that? If you do the 39, you'll probably get him in all your lineups. Yeah.
No, I just ran one, just assuming the 39 the hell of it,
Yeah. I mean, the fact that he's playing is going to leave Vanderbilt a lot lower on. So I'm actually like a little bit more interested in Vanderbilt than I was before. 3,100 on DK left. If I was stuck in that range, my pick would be Mamu Kalashvili, followed by the only other 3,100 guy, Desonmu. Kyrie's officially ruled out, which is nice to see because weird. Yeah, that's fine. The cheap San Antonio center is fine, but remember that everybody's projecting him to start. Just make sure he is. And if he's not, I think you can still play him, but it's certainly no longer like I wouldn't be playing him as chalk. I don't know if he's off the bench. Bane or Triple J. I'm not playing either today. If I had to pick one, it'd be Bane, but I'm okay with both, but Bane would be the one I'd pick. Mamu, I don't even know where you were thinking Metu? I've looked at a lot of things today. I've never thought of Metu for 1 second, just to be honest. So I wouldn't even consider that like a play, like just a wild dart throw, hoping that something happens that hasn't happened all year long.
That's pretty funny.
I think he scored 20 fantasy points. He scored 22 one time. I don't think he's done anything ever. I mean, he played 8 minutes in the last game. He might play like 4 minutes. Do not play Metu. I don't care if he goes off and you're missing out on it. That is a terrible play. If you're going to play anybody at from the minimum cost, you play Kessler Edwards before him. They're at least playing him. Yeah, I kind of like both. I mean, I don't know. So it's a bonus Vooch decision for you, Rody. I like both of those guys. I don't have them as a decision against each other because obviously they're different prices. But I do think that getting some exposure. I have those run back and forth a few times, so I'm okay with that. I personally prefer Levine the most of the Bulls guys, but I'm having honestly that extra few hundred is having a little hard time getting it in. And one thing I may be a little bit too high on Josh Green, but I will rather take that shot and just. All the guy's done in these situations is produce every single time. And I don't want to get away from it now. I just don't understand why the projection has him at 30. I feel like it should be at 40. I guess Christian Wood being there maybe is the reason, but still, it just feels a little bit like people should be playing him more.
Playing both, and whatever.
Yeah, Trey Lyles now, but how many guys, how deep do you guys want to go? Do you guys want to play the 10th man on a roster? That's the reason why the Metu thing doesn't make any sense. Like, Metu comes in after Edwards, obviously after all 5 starters, then after Monk, Mitchell, Edwards, then you probably get to Metu. So your only hope of the Metu play is if you get the Sabonis foul trouble. So that's the way it works for you. But I just don't think there's any reason to take that gamble on this slate. And it's not, they played Lyles because they like Lyles. They're not like trying to force it in. But so Metu, even if he plays 20 minutes, he hasn't gotten there in 20 minutes all season long. So I couldn't do it. Keldon Johnson is a yes for me, but I'm not getting to as much of him on DraftKings as I don't even as I'd like. I'm not getting to him as much as I thought I would. Partly because he's going to be pretty popular, but I just thought I'd get my exposure to him on FanDuel where I can sort of differentiate my builds other ways. But I still, even with Lyles out, guys, I think we can't just assume that we're plugging in Guyan. And by the way, Lyles has been running alongside of Sabonis, and they may play Metu some minutes, but like honestly, if you want to find somebody who that benefits the Lyles being out, it's Keegan Murray. Keegan Murray, Barnes, and Herter all get a boost from that. But the Metu thing is just, I just think I don't want to talk about it anymore because I kind of feel like I've talked it to death. If he gets there, fine. I'm never going to say that it was a good play. If you wanted to play multiple 3,100 guys, then I would consider it. But if that's not the case, I can't pick Metu over the other value personally. It just feels very, 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 very suspect to me. You do have the out though of getting this bonus foul trouble, and then you're good. then the two will make some sense. McKinley Wright's popping off in projections now because of the Hardaway news.
He is.
Yeah, so he's another one you got to consider. But with that, I'm probably going to go pretty soon and get my lineups finished.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see what Christian Wood projects if he starts, but I think 39 probably.
I think 39 is reasonable if he starts. If he doesn't start, I don't know where the 39 is coming from.
I don't know what to do with him then,
Yeah, I think I'm probably going to try to now I probably am going to play Keldon Johnson, my big buy-in, because now I'm talking about playing 4 guys from Dallas.
I thought of that.
I don't know if that's the right way to do this. Like, they can all get there though. Like Hardy and Green and Wood can all get there.
They're just so cheap,
Yeah. Yeah, Justin Holiday is not a guy you guys should be considering today. I don't care if it works or not. It's just the wrong play.
Sandro is starting. Somebody came in and said.
Justin Holiday this year has had 1 game of 20 fantasy points. And there's no reason he might play 30 minutes. He might play 6. Play McKinley Wright if you're going to play Justin Holiday instead. Forrest says he's got 2 Dallas, Keldon and Mount. I think that's totally reasonable, Forrest. That makes perfect sense to me with Keldon and Mamuk in your shelf. I would rather play the more of the Dallas side than the San Antonio side. But that's totally, those 2 are my favorite San Antonio players anyway. Yeah, I think Desonmu is a better play than the other 30 than what's his name than Justin Holiday. I mean, we're just talking about really, really bottom feeders here. Like, these are really ugly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of waiting for that. I can kind of see why you wouldn't like it, but the problem is you have 2 horrible defensive teams in the game where everybody costs nothing. So it's kind of hard to ignore it. Well, yeah, of course, some of them aren't going to make it, but we just need the ones we play to do it. I actually can hang out for a little bit, so I realize that I don't have to really edit things.
I can hang out too, because I might want to just still. I don't know why I still want to just make sure that Gobert is playing before I make any decision in these early games. But then I wasn't really playing anybody in Memphis, Miami anyway. I was playing some Embiid. I was playing some Mitchell, some of the Clevelands. Let's try something else.
God, how am I going to do this meeting after this? Because I've got to make all my edits based on the lineups of the 8 Eastern games. Why do I do this to myself? Just trying to see if there's anything that looks a little bit unusual. Be a fun Lamar Stevens troll game.
Lamar Stevens?
Just because people played him the other night. The other one who I thought was look, I mentioned Jimmy Butler being like a sneaky spend up. I still think that there's an opportunity for Kevin Love. We haven't seen a big game from him yet as a Heat guy, but he's getting the minutes. Actually, he had the big game where he put up 37. But I feel pretty good about his 20, and I think he's got upside of 40. Those are the guys I would look at from the early games. I'm just trying to see if there's anybody I really want to play. I don't think so.
I don't need to play any of these guys.
Yeah, I don't, for what it's worth, I think that Herder and Monk they're better plays, but if you're going to, how is that run? Herder and Monk are not run backs with Sabonis. They're on the same team. So I like Sabonis too, but one thing you don't want to do, by the way, if De'Aaron Fox is playing and Malik Monk goes up, Monk and Sabonis have a terrible negative correlation because you're counting on them. Like Monk will just go out there and shoot and take over and do all that stuff. You're not going to get the 15 assist game out of Sabonis like he had last time out. The rebounds should be there tonight no matter what. But it's pretty amazing what Sabonis is doing actually, because I'm looking at his usage. It's not even that crazy. I just don't want Malik. Like I wouldn't play. I'm not going to play Monk with Herter and I would never play Monk and Herter in the same lineup just because you need everything to go just exactly perfectly your way. And I shouldn't say never. I would never do it on a slate that had other options. But you need things to go just perfectly. And like Fox has to be in foul trouble, and they have to kick Murray out of the lineup, and then Barnes. What is that? Like, I just don't know how that works. So while we like Sacramento tonight and the game, just keep in mind all these other fringy pieces are just that. They're just fringe fluff.
Right.
I don't think any of these guys are. I do think Monk on his own is a completely viable tournament play. I think that Herter on his own is a viable tournament play, but I just don't want to play those guys together. That's a really bad mix to me. Yeah, and again, like I said, if Jaden Hardy fails, it'll be fine. My night will be over, but it's fine with me. This guy has given me no reason not to play.
Right.
He's 18 for 46 in the 2 games. He's not shooting the ball well at all, and he's put up 31 and 47 in the last 2. So I'm just going to keep firing with him. It's a lot of shots. Yeah, I kind of like that for us. That's what I'm doing. The Sabonis, one of the Chicago guys. I actually think even some places getting a little bit more like I like the idea of using Caruso just as a value only because it got me exposure to that game. But I really think that, and Mamu is probably the best value of the cheapies, but all of the fact that Dwight Powell on this slate is the 3rd best point per dollar play is just not a good feeling.
No, it's not.
So I'm not trying to dumpster dive as much as maybe some others are.
Yeah, I'm thinking Christian Wood more like a 31 projection would make a little more sense.
Christian Wood, yeah, that seems more reasonable. I think they dropped it. He's already down to 36. He's going to keep dropping, and if he doesn't start, it'll be like in the low 20s at best, probably. Well, maybe a little higher because no Hardaway.
That's a big deal to know Hardaway. The guy shoots it a lot.
Not well enough, yeah.
Well, I don't care how well.
No, I know. I'm just kidding. But the weird part is Jaden Hardy is more aggressive than Hardaway is by a lot.
Okay.
He's by far the most active player. He'll have the highest usage rate when he plays. Jalen Green's usage rate is significantly higher than Hardy than what's his name was. So you still have you've got 2 guys with like a 30-ish% usage rate already, and you're going to throw Christian Wood in there. Wow, it's just hard to know what they do with the Wood thing. It is a tough slate. I don't feel great about this. Yeah, Forrest, that's where I'm at too. I mean, but also you never know with what's it. I actually think that if the pricing worked out a little better, I would definitely have some Patrick Beverley. I just didn't end up getting there. But I think that the guy's put up 42 out of his last 5. It's kind of wild to think about Patrick Beverley doing that with no shots taken. He had a triple. Oh, he didn't have a triple. He had a double with 5 regular points. But it's pretty wild. It is a tough slate. Not. I don't hate it. I actually really like it. I'm just having trouble with it.
It's a decent slate if you're going to be around. I am going to be around a little bit, so I'll be able to make some changes, which is, I think, going to be important. I don't know why I think it's going to be important. I just feel some other stuff's going to happen. I don't know.
Yeah, I have a feeling you could be right. Based on our experience sheets, that's sort of the way it goes, right?
Yeah,
light up pretty much all the time.
You just watch Rudy Gobert get ruled out or something like that.
It's possible. I mean, if that happens, but it doesn't matter because you're going to have all the guys from those games anyway. It'll be so easy to pivot over.
Oh, as long as you don't play Embiid. Oh, because Naz Reid is power.
Play Embiid, yeah. Even if he was center eligible, you still could play Embiid.
Yeah. Let me see what the projections look like now. I'm going to do an update here. Take 2 seconds. Just on DraftKings, though.
Okay. I'm going to take a look at my stuff. Yeah, I hear you on that one, Forrest, but I can't just I'm not looking to try and find ways to play more players. I can't even find a way to play the guys I want to play, much less look for another game. You know what I mean? Like, so like, but I agree that I mean, yeah, we can say it's overlooked, but like, who do you want to play? Jaylen Brown is probably the most logical one, and Rudy Gobert. I guess those would be the two. Anthony Edwards is okay, but I don't think it's like it's not like a kind of terrible matchup actually for him. But yeah, I mean, they've been Gobert anyway is fine, even whether Naz Reid plays or not. But if Naz is out, he's definitely a better play than he was if Naz was in. Yeah, Gobert's totally in play anyway, though. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, that's 233.5, but you have everybody playing basically without Robert Williams.
What?
He's saying the total is 233.5, and Sacramento, Chicago's 237.5. The Lakers are 232. And
I had a question: is Sengun in?
The Clippers and Warriors are 237. That's actually one of the lower totals on the slate. That's crazy. Sengun is in.
Wow.
All right. I probably am going to bounce though, guys, and just make sure I have everything settled. I will be in Discord for premium all night as usual.
Just so everybody knows, I just did bet the Houston Rockets +3 over the Lakers.
All right. Oh, you're doing the Houston thing, huh?
I did.
It does feel like I actually think that's a reasonable bet. I put that on one of my bets of the day too.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. At the time it was 3.5, so I got an extra point on your sheets.
Well, yeah, I wanted to make sure that Sengun was.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know who's popping now is the McKinley Wright.
That's what I was saying.
But even these are. I mean, I have Justin Holiday projecting at 6x. Do I want to play him?
No.
Right.
I mean, 3,100 on a total just guess. We don't even know that he's starting. Like it's just a wild guess based on they're guessing that he starts. They're guessing that they give him minutes, but you definitely can't play him with McKinley, right? That would be really, really silly. And I would prefer Wright just because I think he's got more.
I guess I can just delay a little bit then. You know, I
think that's mostly what we're doing. Yeah.
Just want to make sure I'm not. I mean, I want to play a couple of Embiids, so that's fine. I don't have to play Bam. Harden, DeRozan, Vooch.
All right, Cheats, I'm going to leave you. Hopefully, we'll have a good sweat then.
I'll try to get there at 7:30 for a few minutes, but I have a business call at 8.
I think it's going to be tough for me because I'm going to have to jump right back to my lineups once I see the starting lineups come out.
All right, well, anyway, good luck, everybody. I'll see you guys at 11.